जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जगरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरावन चारी यमुना तीरावन चारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय निताय गौर हरि बोल, हरि बोल, निताय गौर हरि बोल। जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तरस्य श्रीमती डिवाइन ग्रेस श्री लभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत गोस्वामी महाराज शिल प्रभुपाद की, इस्कॉन विपणि संस्थापक आचार्य शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तरस्य श्रीमती डिवाइन ग्रेस श्रील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर प्रभुपाद की, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की, नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद की। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की, पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की, गंगा माई की, जमुना माई की, भक्ति देवी की। कृष्ण भक्ति प्रदायिनी श्रीमती तुलसी महारानी की। कलयुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की। हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की। श्रील प्रभुपाद ट्रांसलेशन बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की। निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanaतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे, निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे रामो 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 हरे हरे। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 80, chapter entitled Sudama Visits Lord Kṛṣṇa. Text number 12 and 13, we will read 12. Sa evaṁ bhāryayā vipro bahuśaḥ prārthito muhuḥ ayaṁ hi paramo lābha uttamaḥśloka-darśanam. Sa evaṁ bhāryayā vipro bahuśaḥ prārthito muhuḥ ayaṁ hi paramo lābha uttamaḥśloka-darśanam. Sa evaṁ bhāryayā vipro bahuśaḥ prārthito muhuḥ ayaṁ hi paramo lābha uttamaḥśloka-darśanam sa evam bhāryayā vipro bahuśaḥ prārthito muhuḥ ayaṁ hi paramo lābha uttamaḥśloka-darśanam. Matajis. Sa he evam in this way bhāryayā by his wife vipraḥ the brahman bahuśaḥ profusely prārthitaḥ entreated muhuḥ over and over ayaṁ this he indeed paramo the supreme lābha gain uttamaḥśloka of Lord Kṛṣṇa darśanam the sight iti. So we'll read the next verse. We won't repeat, but I'll just recite. Iti sañcintya manasā gamanāya matiṁ dadhe asty upāyanaṁ kiñcid gṛhe kalyāṇi dīyatām. Iti so sañcintya thinking manasā within his mind gamanāya to go. He made his decision. Whether asty there is upāyanaṁ gift kiñcid some gṛhe in the house kalyāṇi my good woman dīyatām please give. Translation and purport by disciples of His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Shukadeva Goswami continued, when his wife thus repeatedly implored him in various ways, the Brahmana thought to himself, to see Lord Kṛṣṇa is indeed the greatest achievement in life. Thus, he decided to go, but first he told her, my good wife, if there is anything in the house I can bring as a gift, Please give it to me. Purport. Sudama was naturally humble, and although at first he was dissatisfied with his wife's proposal, finally he settled his mind and decided to go. Now the last detail was that he had to take a gift for his friend. So, this section of the Srimad Bhagavatam gives us an indication on what should be our aspiration when we are practicing bhakti. As Srila Rupa Goswami has defined, anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavratam anukulena Kṛṣṇa anushīlanam bhaktir uttama. That devotional service which is devoid of any material desires, devoid of karma and jnana. So the Srimad Bhagavatam, through the 12 cantos, takes us through various devotees and personalities who are on the path of purifying their desires, refining their desires, defining the purpose, and based on that definition then they refine their desires. So the entire Srimad Bhagavatam is centered around helping the sadhaka purify and refine one's desire. And so Sudamaji is being used by Lord Kṛṣṇa as a wonderful example of someone who is in a position where his wife is telling, please go and get this from Kṛṣṇa. But how through the pastime ultimately this principle comes up, that the highest aspiration for a devotee is pure devotional service. And what should such aspirations be? Yadarchitam brahma bhavadibhi suraihi shriya ca devyam munayacha satvataihi gocharayana anucharaischyaradvane yad gopikanam kuchakum kumankitam. So when Akrurji is entering into Brajabhumi and he sees the beautiful footprints of Kṛṣṇa on the Brajaraj, he is remembering Kṛṣṇa's glory and is saying, the lotus feet of Kṛṣṇa are so powerful, so influential that Brahma, Bhava and the 33 crore demigods, they are constantly aspiring to serve those lotus feet. Shriya ca Devya, including Mother Lakshmi, is always massaging those lotus feet. Munayacha satvataihi, and even all the munis, the rishis, the great personalities, they are always glorifying those lotus feet. But where is Kṛṣṇa's lotus feet busy in Braj? Gocharayana anucharaischyaradvane. But Kṛṣṇa is moving with the calves in Vrindavan, trying to serve those calves. The lotus feet are moving behind the calves. The Supreme Lord, who is worshipped by the demigods, but his aspiration is to serve the innocent, externally appearing to be very helpless and weak, the calves of Vrindavan. Yad gopikanam kujakum kumankitam. And the gopis are therefore constantly aspiring to come in contact with those lotus feet. So Akrurji says, Deha bhratam iyan artho hitva dambham bhiyam shucham sandeshatyo harirlinga darshana shravanadibi The conditioned soul has been carrying the heavy weight of this material body for millions and millions of lifetimes. To maintain this body is a lot of effort from morning till night. Whichever kind of body in the 8.4 million species one gets, a lot of effort and embarrassment is involved in just maintaining this body. But all of the trauma of maintaining the body is worth it, Akrurji says. Deha bhratam iyan artha. The ultimate purpose, because when things are not going right, when things are troublesome, when there is so much of difficulty, pushback, trauma, trouble, one may start thinking, what is it all this worth for? What is the purpose? Why am I doing all this? Iyan artha. We have dragged this body along through embarrassing situations, through millions of lifetimes, to ultimately arrive at this moment. Hitva dambham bhiyam shucha. And Akrurji is having darshan of Krishna's lotus footprint. And the beauty of Krishna's lotus footprint inundates his consciousness with Krishna's name, form, qualities, and is overwhelmed with Krishna's grace. And so he says, we are carrying this body so that ultimately we come to that moment where we come in contact with Krishna. The soul can ultimately come in contact with Krishna. And when the soul comes in contact with Krishna, what should be the duty of that soul? Hitva dambham bhiyam shucham. Giving up all pride, giving up all embarrassment, giving up all shame, giving up all fear. The soul should ultimately, in great joy and ecstasy, chant and hear the names of Krishna and have darshan of Krishna. Celebrate the connection and contact with Krishna. Sandeshatyo harer linga darshana shravanadibhi. And therefore, this darshan, this shravan, this kirtan is what the soul has been hankering for since millions and millions of lifetimes. And therefore, when one comes in contact with Krishna, that is not an ordinary occasion. And so in the third canto, when Maitreya Rishi is speaking to Vidura, he says that Durapahi alpatapasa seva vaikunthavartmasu yatropagyate nityam deva devo janardana. When one has come in contact with devotees whom we can serve, sincere devotees who are remembering Krishna, and we get an opportunity to serve such devotees, it is only possible because of tremendous amount of austerities acquired from several lifetimes and the grace of the Lord through that sukriti. And therefore, when we are approaching the pastimes of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and when we come to this pastime like that of Sudamaji, we get to focus on why we are hearing and studying these pastimes of Srimad Bhagavatam. What is the purpose? Oh, Rupa Goswami said it is one of the 5 processes. Srila Prabhupada said we should read it. My counselor or my authority said we should read it. Reading is good because it takes me away from WhatsApp for a few minutes. But what is the purpose of studying this? So that we can refine and purify our intention. And then we can model our aspiration to align with the aspiration of the devotees whose descriptions are there in this beautiful literature. And therefore, the first, there are various things which devotees aspire for in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in their pastimes, in their interactions, and in their prayers. And we will discuss a few of them. One of the first aspirations every devotee through the Srimad Bhagavatam aspires for is association of other devotees. That is something which practically everybody is aspiring for. And so when Maharaj Parikshit, in the situation of being cursed to die in 7 days and 7 nights, which is in fact a matter of great misfortune from the perspective of a materialist, he is saying, by looking at Shukadeva Goswami's arrival and taking his seat, he says, Yesham samsmaranat pumsam sadyo shuddhyanti vaikrihaha kim punar darshanas sparsha padashauchasanadibhi. The arrival of such great personalities as yourself, my dear Srila Shukadeva Goswami, is a matter of great fortune. Yesham samsmaranat, by remembering such personalities, sadyo shuddhyanti vaikriha, one's homes become purified. Kim punar darshana sparsha, what to speak of seeing such devotees, coming in contact with such devotees, and taking the dust of the lotus feet of such devotees upon one's head. Several generations are purified. And so, in the next verse, he asks this question, that I have been put in this sudden state of calamity, adversity. The conditioned soul is always praying for prosperity. But when he will be put in a state of adversity and calamity, is beyond the conditioned soul's control. And so, the material knowledge in various schools and colleges across the world is helping us deal with solving problems. But problem is one level. The other level is called calamity. And what is the difference between problem and calamity? So all these degrees people are taking is so that they can get employed and solve problems. Right? One of our devotees went to a conference and someone gave him a business card. And in the business card, name was written. And below the name was educational qualification which said PhD BF. So he said, what is that? He said, PhD but fail. He said, never saw such a degree. He said, my father wanted me to be PhD. Why? Because 2 of my other cousins were PhD. And then after 2 years of enrolling in the PhD, I realized it is beyond my capacity. As Prabhupada used to quote Bengali phrase, Kapale naiko ghi, thok thakale hoibe ki. If ghee is not written here in your bhagya, and if you just take an empty bowl and take a spoon and keep doing thak thak thak, ghee will not manifest. So after 2 years he realized this PhD is beyond my capacity, he dropped out. And then he said, I was under pressure to attend conferences so that I get some social prestige. So I had to be honest. So therefore I wrote PhD and added BF. But you know what? Most people think the BF is a degree beyond PhD. You're the first person who's asking such details. So the whole material knowledge and our obsession with education, that our kids must get this education, this knowledge, this, that. It's all about solving problems. So now you may say, what is the difference between problem and calamity? Problem is something which can be resolved. But calamity is something which is irreversible. Like a child failing in an exam is a problem. You give some tuition or this or that and the child will pass. It's a problem. And one semester they have failed, or one paper they have failed, or whatever. It's not the end of the world. You can go through some tuition or go through some more education or courses and then. But the son dies in an accident. You cannot bring the son back. That's a calamity. And therefore the world is obsessed with solving problems, but the world does not have any body of knowledge. We can help cope with calamity. And therefore, Kṛṣṇa, when Maharaj Parikshit was in the womb of his mother, Kṛṣṇa appeared to destroy the Brahmastra and give birth to Maharaj Parikshit. Tasmat namna Vishnurata iti loke bhavishyati. His name became Vishnurata, one who was protected by Vishnu. But then later suddenly Kṛṣṇa realized the time has come for me to kill Maharaj Parikshit and give birth to that body of literature and knowledge which will act as a source of hope for those facing calamity. And then the Srimad Bhagavatam was thus born, appeared. Srimad Bhagavatam appeared for that purpose. And hence, that Srimad Bhagavatam can only be understood in the association of Bhagavatas, association of devotees. And therefore Maharaj Parikshit is glorifying Shukadeva Goswami's arrival there. And he says, how did you know that I am going through this challenge and difficulty? I need to them. And he says, it is not because of my qualification. It is not my credit. The credit goes to my family, my forefathers. Api me Bhagavan Prita Kṛṣṇa Pandu Sutta Priya Paitra Satsevya Prityartham Yat Gotra Syata Bandhava. Maharaj Parikshit says, I am grateful to my family members who were all very dear to Kṛṣṇa. So someone asked Srila Prabhupada, why you are running so many temples? What is the purpose of running so many temples? You want to fill up the whole society into the temples or what? Many times people have that kind of a fear when they come to Hare Krishna. I was giving the prasadam to one college student and he was refusing the prasad. And I said, I have seen people refusing Bhagavatam or Gita, but never seen anyone refuse prasad. Why are you refusing prasad? He said, I am afraid my hairstyle will become like yours. Someone joined our ashram in Chopati many years ago, and his father came and started arguing with me. Why my son has joined at such a young age? When he is my age, he should join. I said, okay, let the son go, you join. He got bewildered. He looked at me and he said, I will ask at home and come back. Next day he came and said, let my son continue. So Srila Prabhupada gives the example of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, gives the example of Advaita Acharya. Acharya re Shraddha Bhakti Gṛhe Sampat Dhane Sakala Safala Hoila Prabhuraradhane. Srila Advaita Acharya, being a Grihastha, offered everything he had in the service of the Lord. Shraddha, Bhakti, Gṛhe, Sampat, Dhan, everything was offered for Prabhur Aradha. Aiche anna je Krishna ke karaye bhojan, janme janme shire dharo tahar charan. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu glorifies Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and he says, oh, all the food which you are cooking at your home, Every home will have cooking. Food has to be prepared. But what needs to change? The intention with which you cook. So Lord Chaitanya says, there are those who are cooking with the intention for their own gratification. But then when they change the intention and start cooking the food in their home with the intention of pleasing Kṛṣṇa, the deities in their home, then Lord Chaitanya says, Aiche anna je Kṛṣṇa ke karaye bhojan. From the moment you start planning what to cook, you are thinking what to cook for Kṛṣṇa. All you have to do is change that intention. Kṛṣṇa ke karaye bhojan. Just by making that switch, Lord Chaitanya says, the conditioned souls have no idea how much they can influence, impact and inspire me just by making that change in their intention only in one domain, food. Aiche anna je Kṛṣṇa ke karaye bhojan. Lord Chaitanya says, how much do I get affected by that person when he prioritizes Kṛṣṇa over himself? Janme janme shire dharo tahar charan. I take the dust of the feet of such a devotee upon my head, life after life. So therefore, in such association, and the association can begin from one's own family, transforming the family. And Lord Chaitanya tells Sanatana Goswami Pad in Puri, Bhojaner madhye sreshta navabida bhakti, Kṛṣṇa prema Kṛṣṇa dite dhore mahashakti, Taur madhye sarva sreshta nama sankirtan, Nir aparade naam lele pai premadhan. He says, to transform one's home into a temple is very simple. All you need to do is incorporate three things: Kṛṣṇa Naam, Kṛṣṇa Katha, and Kṛṣṇa Prasad. And then that home transforms into a temple. And if such a home where people are keeping Kṛṣṇa in the center, Lord Chaitanya tells Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Gṛhe Kṛṣṇa bhaji more kora ashirvade, nilachale asi jena tomara prasade. Give me blessings that I can come back to Puri after the South India tour. So Prabhupada writes in his purport, Lord Chaitanya is sannyasi, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is grihastha. Sannyasi should give blessings to grihastha. Sannyasi is asking blessings of grihastha. How is that? Because if you follow the principles of keeping Kṛṣṇa in the center and please Kṛṣṇa through Kṛṣṇa Naam, Kṛṣṇa Katha and Kṛṣṇa Prasad, Srila Prabhupada says, every access to the Lord's mercy. That is how simplified the process has been made. And the temples need to be there to inspire and set the benchmark, set the example of how to transform your home into a temple. There is a story of this famous devotee, Ramdas. He was in Bhadrachalam. And once he was moving through the forest, and inside the forest, he was the governor of the place, and this was when the Muslim rule was also there at that time. So he entered into this forest and he saw a beautiful deity of Sri Ram, and he got very inspired, and he was wondering from where this deity came. And then there was a forest dweller, a simple lady, who was worshipping that deity of Ram. And she looked at, Ramdas, and she said, You are a governor with lot of means. I am worshipping so simply. Why don't you build a beautiful temple for Lord Ram? And he said, Arey, from where we'll get money for this? Arey, she said, so many taxes are coming and going. You can always make some adjustment. And he thought that's a good idea. So he was supposed to give a certain amount to the king as tax. He saved some amount. Did not give the full amount, used that amount and built a temple. Beautiful dresses, everything he made, and became a fantastic temple. Somebody went and complained to the king. The king made an inquiry, found that it is right, he threw him in the jail. So Ramdas is inside the jail and with great frustration is crying out to Lord Ram, my dear Lord, who built this beautiful temple for you? Dashrath? I built the temple for you. Who gave this beautiful golden dress which has been offered? Janak Maharaj? I made it for you. Who made all the golden ornaments? Sita Devi? I made it for you. For all that I have done, this is what I am getting. I am being thrown in the jail. I didn't expect this from you. What will future generations think? They will be afraid to build a temple for you. Please think about it. That night, Lord Ram and Lakshman both appeared in the dream of that governor who had put Ramdas in jail, the Muslim governor, and started beating him. And said, release him immediately. Why have you done this? And he got so scared. Next day he came and released Ramdas and he said, I'm so sorry, I did not realize your glory. He said, what happened? Well, these two personalities with bow and arrow, they came. One was having greenish complexion, another was with him, and the other was even more angry. And they were looking at me, wanting to kill me, and saying, why did you do this to Ramdas? And therefore, Ram and Lakshman appeared, and they have ordered me, so I have to release you. Ramdas became even more angry. He said, my dear Lord, I am the one building the temple and worshipping you. You are giving darshan to someone else. What is this going on? So that temple in Bhadrachalam is even now today very, very prominent and very famous. So India is a land of temples. Many times people ask, why you are building temples and what is the purpose and is it relevant? You should build hospitals. So I ask the people, you know how many hospitals are there in India? Only 70,000. 70,000. Right, Doctor? Dr. Gauranga Sundar. 70,000 hospitals. Plus now one more in Barsana. But how many temples are there? Around 2 million, 20 lakh. India, Bharat is a land of temples. But the purpose of temples was what? The purpose of temples was to create a transformational experience for people when they come. They come, take darshan, but then after that, they hear, they chant, they understand what should be the process I should follow at my home and how do I transform my home into a temple. And that's what became missing over a period of time. The structures remain, the various kinds of deities and darshan remain, but we have to really add that missing link. And therefore Srila Prabhupada emphasized, print the books, distribute the books, translate the books, allow the people to understand the purpose behind why they should go to the temple. Why that transformation must happen. And therefore, practically each and every one of the 30 crore households in India should actually have some form of spiritual practice in their home and understand that there are only two categories of people in this world. Everybody in the world goes through pain. Everybody has to go through pain. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. Everybody has to go through pain, Adi Devik, Adi Bhautik, Adhyatmik. But the two categories are one who go through that pain without knowing the purpose behind the pain, and the other is one who goes through the pain and knows the purpose behind that pain. When I put my finger into a fire, I experience pain at the tip of my finger. I immediately retract my finger. That pain is good or bad? The pain is good, because if the pain sensation was not there, my finger would melt. So that pain which I experience at the tip of my finger when I put it inside the fire gives a clear message. My finger is in the wrong place. It's in the wrong place. So the pain which the conditioned soul experiences in this material world is a clear indication that this is samsara dava nalalidha loka. This is not the place to be. And therefore Srila Prabhupada named the magazine Back to Godhead. That we have to aspire to go back home to our original place. And therefore every home is supposed to design their environment and ambience within to remind each and every member of the home that we are all meant to go back home, back to Godhead. And that's what Maharaj Parikshit is indicating, that I was so fortunate to be the descendant of a family of devotees and lovers of Krishna. They loved Krishna and Krishna loved them so much that Krishna was constantly thinking how to benefit this family. Yatra dharma suto raja gada panir prakodara Krishno stri gandivam chapam suhrt Krishna stato vipat. Bhishma Dev is glorifying the Pandavas. What a family of the Pandavas. Yudhishthira is dharma personified, Bhima is power personified, Arjuna is skill personified, Nakul Sahadev is loyalty personified, Krishna is well-wisher personified. Having all of these forces in one family, still they had to go through calamity after adversity after adversity. So many adversities. Why? Because Krishna wanted to demonstrate that the purpose of life should not be to increase prosperity and decrease adversity, but the purpose of life is, in the midst of prosperity or adversity, one should look for the opportunity to serve Krishna. And therefore Name Ruchi basically means that one has to have intensity in sadhana. Vaishnav Seva means one needs to have consistency in seva. And Jivedaya means one needs to have the ultimate ability to share this message with Krishna and sensitivity for the souls. So therefore there needs to be intensity in sadhana, consistency in seva, and sensitivity in dealing with others, both devotees and those who are conditioned souls struggling in this material world. And therefore, Lord Kṛṣṇa uses Pandavas as the example that the purpose of the satsang is not that it is an insurance against calamity, but it is an inspiration to remember Krishna even in the midst of calamity. And therefore, Parikshit Maharaj, just now having heard that he is going to die in 7 days and 7 nights, is glorifying Shukadeva Goswami and is crediting Krishna. Api me Bhagavan Prita Krishna Pandava Priya. That actually the Pandavas were dear to Krishna, and because I am in the same Gotra, so Krishna has sent Shukadeva Goswami for my help. Api me Bhagavan Prita Krishna Pandu Sudha Priya paitra satsevya prityartham yad gotrasyat bandhava. And therefore Srila Prabhupada says, if anybody wants to help their family in the best possible way, each and every person wants to give the best gift to the family, the best support, the best protection, the best benefits to the family. Srila Prabhupada says, benefit the family in the maximum possible manner. The best gift you can give to the family is by becoming Krishna conscious. Because when you become Krishna conscious and become dear to Krishna, Krishna himself takes personal responsibility of protecting, supporting, facilitating the benefits for the family even beyond one generation. So now the Pandavas are no longer there. The 5 Pandavas are not there, but Parikshit is saying, Krishna is still overseeing my welfare because Pandavas were dear to him. Like that. So therefore, many times, we forget that Krishna consciousness is beneficial to everyone at all levels. I remember when I joined the ashram, my family was not very pleased with this decision. So I thought, let me organize some satsang for them. And I took one more brahmachari with me, and this was in Chennai, and I had called around 100 of my family members. And this devotee gave a lecture, and he referred to this verse from 7th canto, where Narsingadev tells Prahlad Maharaj, Trisaptavi pita puta pitribi sate naga, that if anyone becomes Krishna's devotee, 21 generations are liberated. So he pointed to me and said, in your family, he has become devotee, Gauranga Prabhu has become devotee, all of you are going to Vaikuntha. And not only you, 21 generations are going to Vaikuntha. They were all in ecstasy. After the lecture, one cousin came to me and said, please continue chanting. Don't stop. If you have any problem, let me know. So many times people don't realize how transformative the satsang can be. There was a sailor, he was sailing in seas, and the ship docked in some port. And so he was out in the streets doing some purchase, and one book distributor met him. Now, what happened was he wanted to purchase some plant to decorate his room inside the ship. So this was in Mumbai. He came to Mumbai port. So he was searching for some plants. He liked one plant, he picked it up, purchased and brought it and kept it. And to keep it going, he had to water it every day. He didn't know that plant was tulsi. So this was like somebody from Europe, and he picked up from the Mumbai somewhere, from the market, and he was watering tulsi. And over a period of few weeks, he saw his desire to drink was going down. Alcohol. His desire to eat meat was going down. His desire to do sense gratification, he was wondering, what is going on? Who am I? So Tulsi Maharani was reciprocating with his Agyata Sukriti. So then, the ship came to some other port in Europe, and he came out as usual because it was going to be docked for a week. So one book distributor met him. So Seva to Tulsi then gave him satsang. And this book distributor gave him Bhagavad Gita. He didn't understand what this is. He thought, okay, it's an interesting book, let me take it. He went and kept it in his room. Next day he went to another part of the town. The same book distributor met him. He said, oh, I recognize, I gave you the book yesterday. Did you read the Gita? He said, no, I didn't read, Baba. But I'll read today, okay? Don't worry, you go, I'll read. Next day he went to another part of the town. The same book distributor met him there also. He said, yesterday you said you were going to read. He said, Baba, my God, how do I know this fellow will catch me here also? He thought, if I tell him I have not read, he'll eat my head for half an hour. So he thought, let me just tell a lie. He said, I have read it. He said, how was it? He thought for some time. And he said, some part of the book was very good, other part, I could not get it so much. This book distributor said, whoever reads Gita either likes it like anything or doesn't like at all. You are in between, means you are not read it. My God, this guy has mystic powers. So he went back, read the book within 2 to 3 days, and came and connected with that satsang there, and ultimately he became one of the head pujaris in one of the temples in Europe. beginning with Tulsi Maharani, and how things gradually manifest through satsang. So that is the actual purpose behind the temples, to provide the ecosystem of satsang, sadhana, seva, and then gradually the transformation of consciousness happens. So therefore, Sudamaji also is described by the acharyas that towards the end, that Krishna detected within Sudama some pride. And what was that pride? Sudamaji had pride in his poverty. There is no one poorer than me. Pride can come in unique flavors. Maharaj had pride, I am the richest. Sudama had the pride, I am the poorest. Who can do anything to me? Krishna said, we have to humble him. How? Make him a billionaire. So you may think, Krishna, make me also like Sudama. Humble. But Krishna will see where is your pride and then accordingly humble. Shvobhute vishvabhavena swasukhena bhivandita jagama swalayam tata patham anubrajjanandita. When Sudamaji came, Krishna did two things. And Srila Prabhupada always mentions, if you want to develop intimate relationships with devotees and please the devotees, these are the two things you should do. First, respect. And second, reciprocate with loving service. When any devotee gets in the satsang, respect and reciprocation of loving service, that devotee is satisfied. And that's what devotee care is all about. Keep each devotee satisfied in that satsang. And so Krishna takes the humble position and serves Sudamaji as described here on the cover of this. And through this, Sudamaji becomes totally overwhelmed and doesn't desire anything. And then Krishna makes him a billionaire, and then he says, Shushrushaya paramaya pada sambahanadipi pujito devadevena vipradevena devavad. Oh, Krishna served me just like the gods. I didn't want it, but he served me. And therefore he says, Tasyaiva me sauhrda sakya maitri dasyam punarjanmani janmani syat mahanubhavena gunalayena vishajyatas tat purusha prasanga. I only want friendship, intimacy, and loving service to devotees. Devotees were full of divine qualities. That is my only aspiration. So therefore, we are grateful that Srila Prabhupada and ISKCON has given us this perspective on why we need association of devotees, so that in that association we can align our aspirations with the aspirations of the great souls in the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. And I am very grateful for being given this opportunity to share a few words for my purification. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So also very nice to see Shrutakirti Prabhu. Pranam. Dandavat Shrutakirti Prabhu. He's also spending good time at Govardhan Eco Village and giving his satsang to all of us. And Sri Nandanandan Prabhu, congratulations for the Padma Shri Award. We are all proud of you, and all the books which you have written, taking Srila Prabhupada's inspiration and presented in a fantastic context, has been recognized, and you have been given one of the highest civilian honors from Bharat. Congratulations. Your comments? You want to make some comments? I think let's have a comment. What's Bhagavatam class without comments from other Vaishnavas?
Hare Krishna. Nice to see you, Prabhu. I was just seeing this morning, Srila Prabhupada, this was very early, 1966. Prabhupada said how when he came, he didn't know. He said, coming amongst the Malechas, Yavanas, what would happen. He said, but what he saw was they were not offenders. So they were able to, just by chanting, just like you tell the story, the man's worshiping Tulsi Devi, doesn't know what he's doing, but he's not an offender. He said in India, because of course Prabhupada was preaching in India his whole lifetime, he said, but Mayavadi is an impersonalist. So many offenses. So as you were saying, first thing, to become a non-offender, to not make offenses is very important. So as you say, give respect. One has to give respect and serve the devotees, reciprocate with everything, and then one can make nice progress in Krishna consciousness. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah, why don't we hear from Dr. Stephen Knapp?
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Very nice class.
Thank you.
And I was just going to comment on something that you said earlier in the class about taking up Krishna consciousness while you can. Because now that I'm approaching 75, I'm experiencing what some people would call old age. And I can tell you that, as they say, old age is not for sissies. So if you have youth, if you have energy, if you have vigor, take up Krishna consciousness now. Don't think it's going to get any easier later on. So take it seriously now, and you'll be prepared for the changes that take place as you get older. So good luck with all of you, for all of you in your Krishna consciousness. Take it seriously, and hopefully we'll all be there to assist each other when we need it as we get older. So, and I'm very happy to see many of the projects here in Vrindavan are for devotee care, because you never know, I might have to be in one of those places at some point. So anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Any question? Yeah. Yeah, here. Yeah, take.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Prabhu. So you mentioned in a devotee's life, there is, let's say there is a prosperity and then is gliding down to adversity, and in between there are so many opportunities in serving the God. But one of the important elements there is the time, and then the perseverance and patience. So when he glides down from prosperity to adversity, those time he loses his patience and perseverance and feels why God is doing such thing with me. So you would like to comment on that?
Yes. So when we are going through challenging situations, we should take shelter of the association and intensify our hearing and chanting. If you see the pastime of Prithu Maharaj, is very angry and wanting to kill Indra, and in that episode Brahmaji comes And one of the verses, Brahmaji says that sometimes you will face situations which cannot be counteracted. So all you need is, in that situation, acknowledgement that this is coming from Krishna, acceptance that this is part of my past life activities, and this is a gift being given by Krishna for my purification. Tada tadhamishasya bhaktanam sham abhipsata anugraha manyamana prāthishtam dishamuttaram. Narad Muni lost his mother when he was 5. But how does he process that? Because he has heard from the Bhakti Vedantis. Tada tad aham ishasya bhaktanam sham. I have faith that Isha, the Supreme Controller, who has taken away my only shelter. Should I be angry with that Isha? Or should I look at that Isha as Bhaktanam Sham, one who abhipsata, desires. Abhipsata is desire. One who is constantly desiring Bhaktanam Sham, auspiciousness for his devotees. So Narada, my mother is gone, I am 5-year-old, I am now an orphan. What auspiciousness is this? No, he had heard from the Bhakti. Krishna is, whatever he does is all auspicious. Anugraha manyamana, accepting that death of his mother as anugraha, the Lord's mercy. Pratishtam dishamuttaram, he went towards the north. When Indratumna Maharaj is cursed by Agastya Rishi, he is worshipping deity and he doesn't welcome Agastya Rishi along with his disciples, and Agastya Rishi curses him to become elephant. So he could have looked at the deity and said, hey, what's going on? I am worshipping you and suddenly I am becoming elephant. Is this the effect of worshipping deity? So, evaṁ shaptva gata adastyo. The 8th canto verse says that although he was cursed like this, what was the reaction of Indratumna Maharaj? That this has happened due to my past lives, karma. Number 2, this has been a token reaction. Number 3, the Lord is wanting my benefit only. Number 4, it is my mistake, and whatever has happened is for my purification. Right? So therefore, the verse describes that because he processed this calamity in this manner, he wanted to be respectful to Agastya Rishi. So although he had faced a major retribution from Agastya Rishi, but he responded to that retribution with respect and responsibility. He did not react. He responded with maturity and responsibility. And therefore the verse says, Yat gajatve api anusmriti Hari archananu bhavena yat gajatve api anusmriti. Because he did not offend Agastya Rishi, he may not have had the satisfaction of screaming at Agastya Rishi and putting Agastya Rishi in his place. But because of that restraint, responsibility, respect which he demonstrated at that moment of agitation, what was the benefit? In the next life, described, evam vyavasata buddhya samadhaya manohrdi jajap paramam japyam prak janma anushikshitam. So, yat gajatve api, elephant body is not favorable for remembrance of Krishna. But although he was in an elephant body, still he was given the power to remember Krishna, because Krishna says, mattaha smritir jnanam apohanam. remembrance of Krishna is in Krishna's hand. So when Krishna is pleased with the devotee, he allows that remembrance. When Krishna is displeased with the devotee, he eclipses that remembrance. He provides forgetfulness. So that's why very few devotees survive in the long run in administration, management and leadership within spiritual societies, because we cannot react the way we do in the outside world, because we are dealing with devotees and there is a reaction involved when someone gets hurt. So people may complain, things are going slow, why is it? But sometimes in spiritual society, defensive is safer than offensive, even at the cost of a little bit of slowdown. But because of that, he prioritized that one Hari Archananubhavena. One, there was intensity in his sadhana. But along with intensity in his sadhana, consistency in seva, he also added sensitivity towards other sevaks. Which means that even when they make mistakes, and because of your responsibility you have to correct that mistake, how can you do that in the most sensitive manner possible? With Krishna being the witness of your intentions, of how you are doing that correction and why you are doing that correction. So therefore Gajendra's remembering Krishna was a result of his previous life's response to what he experienced from Agastya.